It will be a very straightforward discussion of reproductive rights or reproductive health rights. Those are two very different legal concepts, but let's stick to the simple reproductive rights. Yeah, because it's double, no? Yeah. Is that okay? Is that better? It's not. It's not. Okay, so this is a very simple definition of reproductive rights. There are basically 4 parts to the definition. First one is the right to decide on reproduction, meaning getting pregnant or not getting pregnant without discrimination, coercion, or violence, just deciding. The second one is to have access to services, the right to health, reproductive health. The third one is the right to have enabling conditions like education, the proper policies, whether you should have sexuality education in high school, etc., or whether there is financing to assist impoverished groups. No? So that's the third and the final concept that you cannot actually de-link from reproductive rights is the right to sexual health. That will be given abundant discussion by the next group. Just suffice for me to say that when you say reproductive rights, it also means the right to make decisions about sexuality, the right to have access to sexual services, and the right to have the enabling conditions, okay? And now just walk back through the pertinent policies. I will not go back into history. I just wanted to point out how closely Catholicism has actually interfered with reproductive rights in this country. In 1937, we had the first legal framework, the revised penal code. The revised penal code actually forbids or criminalizes all forms of abortion without defining it. So therefore, a woman who decides for herself, with her family, is a criminal person. Any doctor or midwife who assists her is criminal as well. And you can be fined, you can be imprisoned. This is the law that still operates today. In 1972, we were under a dictator president, and his presidential decree mandated family planning for population management. So you know what that means. That was associated with forced sterilizations, women waking up, following delivery, and they had already been ligated. So this is coercive. I think it's something that's coming back today. So 1970 to 1987, we had the Cory-Aquino Constitution, which actually laid down what we call the rights of the unborn. Because the 1987 Constitution, actually, Section 12 orders the state to equally protect the life of the mother and the unborn equally from conception. So this is on top of the old revised penal code, right? So that means from conception, it's like no woman should have an abortion. And then 1987 to 2012, 2012 is when the reproductive health law was passed. We had a pendulum swing across 4 different administrations on contraception alone. Not abortion. Abortion has always been prohibited. Contraception has wavered from being endorsed by the president. So you had Marcos, you had Fidel Ramos, you had the men actually endorsing family planning, kuno. And you had women like Cory-Aquino who said, well, it should be. Cory said, let's not endorse it too much, it should be a health issue, which is true. But Gloria Arroyo Macapagal actually banned the term reproductive health in all her policies and actually promoted natural family planning, which is what the Catholic Church promotes. Here again, so we had the law. We had the law that we were very triumphant about, and the whole world was triumphant with us as well. The passage of the law, but it had minor constraints, like there would be no emergency contraceptives from government, and that minors could only access contraception if they only had children, or if they had had miscarriage. No? So limited, but it was really not full. But right after, like 3 months after the passage of the law, anti-reproductive health, or do we call them pro-life or whatever, no? They succeeded in getting the Supreme Court to issue a SQA, a status quo ante order, meaning the law is pushed back from being implemented further because the claim of the other side was that the law violated the Constitution. The Constitution that states that the unborn should be protected. So there is a sense from the oppositors that contraceptives are abortifacient, okay? So that is the big problem now. The Supreme Court halts it, then declares in April 2014 that hindi pala, the law is constitutional, except for some parts. So the some parts include, first, the law must make sure that all contraceptives are not abortifacients. The WHO has already settled that question, but it is recurring. And that minors should not have contraception at all, even those who already have children or had a miscarriage. And then it goes about saying that there is an entity called conscientious objection, where a provider or even an LGU executive can say, no, I don't want to promote contraceptives in my locality. So these are the challenges now. April 14, June 2015, there is another TRO, a temporary restraining order, again from the Supreme Court, saying, number one, that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, cannot certify or allow contraceptives. And number two, that the Department of Health would not be allowed to use and promote implant. Implant is the new technology that a lot of women love. And it works for 3 years. And it's the method that a lot of our poor women in the community would die for. But right now, the Department of Health is not allowed to do it. But we, in the civil society organization, we think we can use it. No? So those are legal questions. I don't know if anybody wants to be hauled to court. No? But this is the policy that has been influenced by Catholic doctrine. And it's really a problem. And this is how the church has actively flexed. In a publication where we talk about religious fundamentalism and reproductive rights in the Philippines, we talk about the historical intervention of Catholic Church, no? Catholic Church doctrine and dogma into here. So you have candidates, actually. This is the 2013 election. You have pro-life candidates, the Team Life, and the team, here are the Team Patay. I don't know if Risa, I think Risa was, when she was campaigning in 2013, she was put here under Team Patay, okay? So that is how bloody, actually, the campaign has been. Let me discuss the core reproductive indicators. Maternal mortality, women dying from pregnancy and childbirth. There is a dispute about how big it is, whether it's 2,000 or 5,000, over 5,000 dying. What is not in dispute is that maternal mortality persists in the Philippines. It has not come down at all. Second one, contraceptive use. The Philippines is among the countries with the lowest use of contraceptives. And it's only, and the demand of women is like 70%. The use of women is only 23%. So there is a large gap between what women want and what they have. Recourse to unsafe abortion, I think I have slides. This is maternal mortality. Maybe back to maternal mortality. So this is maternal mortality, which is not coming down. Whether you use, the pink one is the Philippine statistics figure, which puts it very high at 221. Below that is the vital registration of deaths, which we know is incomplete. And authorities say you must multiply the figure there by a factor of 1.5 to 3 to get at the true maternal mortality, okay? So it's between 2 to 5,000, but what we are sure about is that it is not coming down, okay? And contraceptives have a factor there. It's not clicking. Oh yeah, here. This is what I was telling you, the demand for family planning. The women who say we do not want a pregnancy in the near future or ever, that's high, about 70 plus. The women using a modern method is down here, 40. So it's a difference of between 70 and 40, which has been consistent across the years. Using any method means adding abstinence and withdrawal. These are traditional methods. So that means the recourse to modern methods is actually very low. And this is abortion. The estimates for abortion in the Philippines, the estimated rate is 27 per 1,000. That means there were 400,000 and then 500,000, and in 2013, the estimate is 600,000 induced abortions. A lot of that are unsafe because of the illegality of abortion. 100,000 hospitalizations. The women who are able to get to the hospitals are usually treated very badly in the hospitals. No? The first thing some hospitals do is to blotter them, to report them to the police before they're even provided care. And some die in the hospitals. And then the count there is about 1,000 deaths every year. Very preventable if there were more broader use of contraceptives. No? So that's the tragedy. And of course, the other tragedy is adolescent fertility. So we are also, the Philippines is one of the top Asian countries with among the highest adolescent fertility rates. Our rate is 57. It looks like it's increasing. It means teen pregnancy of about 250 to 270,000 a year. And in 2010, they counted 1,000 pregnancies below 15. So it is a problem. Young girls are dying. Some of them do not die, but they cannot take care of their babies. Their babies also do not die, do not survive. So this is a double problem of women and girls. So before the actions are very quick, no? But I wanted to share my own analysis, which is just very short. That one, policies have been skewed against reproductive rights, and this is mainly because I think of the very dominant Catholic influence on policy making. There are problems of the health system, and I know that. I used to work with the Department of Health for a few months. I know the lack of personnel, the lack of supplies. I know we have a very big budget. We have the biggest budget this year, bigger than the national defense, but we have the lowest budget for contraception.